Just real quick, I'd also like to add, we have, as a class, a content note that is put up on the door out there. So if you're sensitive to anything, that's where to go to check if we will have that. Everything begins and ends with circles. We've all seen The Lion King. Circle of life. So on and so forth. We all know what a clock looks like. We know that it starts at 12 and it begins ticking to 11, 10, 9, 8, and so on, all the way until it reaches 12 once again. And then it continues, ticking on and on. In the beginning, there was nothing. There was a void. And after some time, the void got real tired of being nothing. It was all like, hey, I'm tired of being nothing. And so then, what happened was everything ever. And with everything ever, there came first the earth, with its body of mountains and a tumult of forests and caves. And then wreathing that body, that earth, filling in the crevices and creating lakes and ponds and churning waves was the sea. Then finally, encompassing and embracing all of that was the sky. A vast firmament with constellations dotting every which way, with bright stars that bore light down upon the sea and the earth. That's you. You are the sky. Your name is Uranus. And you didn't have a mother to give you a more sensible name, but fortunately, there were not schools back then for you to get teased for such a devious name. And as the king, Your Majesty, you oversee everything. From your vast palace up in the sky, you can overlook the entire sea and all of the earth. You can look down and you can see those mountains that rise up. You can see the forests dotting every which way. From here you can smell the clean air. And it's beautiful. She's beautiful. Mother Gaia, that's the earth. And you got the hots for her. But as the sky and her as the earth, you are so far apart. And so the only place you can meet is that spot, the horizon line, where your sky meets her earth, where the mountains kiss that red ray of sun in the last vestiges of the day. And then you spend your nights apart, and then come back together on the other side of the horizon line, where night becomes morning. And it's beautiful. And there are these violet sprays of light, and the birds are chirping as they go about their daily days and whatnot. And you're in love. What's your favorite thing about Mother Gaia?
Me?
You're Uranus.
The mountains.
Those big mountains. Indeed. And eventually, your love takes shape. It takes form. And you... Oh, I won't put this poetically. You have babies. You have so many babies. First, it starts with the triplets, and then you have another set of triplets, and then you have 12 more kids. It's a lot. I know, it's a lot. But back then, you were the very first family in all of existence ever, and, you as the very first father, why, there was no manual that came with it, and so you did what you thought was your best, which was pretty much ignoring all of them and letting them go about their days. Mother Gaia is much better suited for this kind of thing, Her vast mountains are perfect for children to sprawl and play on and do their little games. And you stay up in the sky, in your palace. And in this palace you have a mighty throne. A throne made of clouds. And it's perfect because it's just firm enough to hold your body, and it's just soft enough to be comfortable. You can sit in any position you want. You can kick your legs up if you so choose. You can sit there like a regal king, or you can slouch if you like. It's a little lonely, but you are the king, and as the king, you are regal, and you must exhibit as much. And behind your throne is a family portrait with the triplets, and the other triplets, and all 12 of the other children sprawled at your feet, And you're sitting there in the portrait on your throne, and Mother Gaia, she's there, stood beside you with a bright smile on her face, proud of her family. One night, you're sitting on your throne, and here, it's dark. Dark save for the bright light of the stars reaching overhead in your vast firmament. And the stars, they sing to you. They whisper to you. They have things to say. What do they say? You will be usurped. Your throne of clouds will be toppled to the ground by one of your own flesh and blood. Uranus, your majesty, how does that make you feel? As the king, mighty above all, why would the stars tell you this? How do you feel? Scared. More than reasonable. Scared. And then after the fear, there comes anger. There comes rage, because you, in that family portrait, you see things much differently than your wife does. Where she sees 18 beautiful children to be loved and cherished, you now see 18 usurpers. 18 whelps who threaten your power. And so a plan comes to your mind. It forms the same way that a thunderstorm begins roiling overhead, the same way that rain begins pelting the ground. When I explained to you, doll, about how everything ever came to be, there was one more piece of the puzzle that I neglected to properly explain. You see, as Uranus, of course, it hardly concerns you. You are not one to see the dark underbelly below the sea and the earth. This slimy recess where things go after they die. He's called Tartarus. And he is many-toothed, and he has this vast belly. And when things die, they sink down below the ground. The earth opens up and his maw eats them up. And when the big whales in the sea, when they die, their carcasses float down and down and down until they hit the sea floor. And again, Tartarus's maw opens and eats them up. And things that go into Tartarus never see the light of day again. So you know what you have to do, Uranus, your majesty, to keep that crown on your head and to keep that throne beneath Uranus. Mother Gaia won't take kindly to this, so you must operate in secret. And so you take each of those 18 children one by one, and they don't know the love of a father. And so when you approach each and every one of them with promises of playing catch or teaching them how to ride a bicycle, they don't suspect a thing. One by one, you toss them to the cold heart of the sea, where Mother Gaia will have no idea. And you've gone through each and every one of them, each and every one of the names that you can think of, and then finally you're like, I thought I had 18 children, but I've only cast 17 down. And then you remember the youngest of them all, the runt of the pack. His name is Kronos. He is small and wiry, and he always spends time with the crows. You're pretty sure that's where you thought of the name, the Kronos. He spends time with those birds with their strangely shaped feathers that are like a crescent that cut and slice through the air. These birds that belong neither to the sky nor to the ground, for if they spend too long in the sky, they'll get tired and fall back down. But if they spend too much time on the ground, they'll get eaten up by something bigger. It's a cruel fate, but it's theirs. It's his. Your son's. And Kronos has been ignored his entire life. As I mentioned, he's small and he's forgettable. And even in that family portrait, he is there in the smallest corner, cramped against his other siblings. And so he, the last of your children yet to be cast down, is the last one that you approach. And you tell him, son, I'm going to take you on a fishing trip. He's never been fishing before, so you take him on a boat, on a raft that you've lashed together, and you set out for the sea. And there, just as he looks up to you, asking, Papa, teach me how to catch a fish. You take this boy and you toss him to the heart of the sea. Well done! Congrats! You stop the usurpers! Well done, your majesty. Well done. And you sit back down on your throne, happy and content. And now, dear audience, I'm going to take you. We're going to leave Uranus there, sitting on his throne. And we're going to take you down to the deep, dark pits of Tartarus, where it reeks of carcasses and things that are dead, and have been dead, and will always be dead. And there, amidst the teeth of stalagmites, all 18 of the children spend their time. They don't know how much time. It doesn't seem to pass down here. There's no moon or sun to tell them how much time passes. But they try to figure out how to play cards. It doesn't really work when you can't see. And they're there for so long, but they've forgotten. All but one, Kronos. He knows exactly how much time has passed. He can feel the tick of every moment. Finally, after what he knows is 2,000 years, there's a new presence in Tartarus, something alive, something like them, and it's Mother Gaia. And after 2,000 years, they hear their mother's voice calling out for them by name in the darkness, and one by one she embraces all 18 of her children. It's a warm embrace. They haven't felt the love of the earth in so long. But the pleasantries melt away quickly. Gaia is here with a proposition. Her hands are not empty. She carries a scythe, a large sickle, a weapon of the harvest with its large crescent blade. She looks to each of her children as best she can in the dark. She asks, "Which of you will wreak vengeance upon your father?" And the children go silent. Who can stand up to the sky? Who would dare? One hand shoots up. "I will, mother." It's Kronos. He steps forward, pushing past his siblings. He's still smaller than them all, but he's a grown man now. And he takes the scythe, and it feels good in his hands. The weight is just right. And he looks over at his siblings, and he says, "I need 4 of you to help me. We need to capture our father. He is the sky, and so we must bring him down to the earth and make sure he stays there as I cut him up." So he enlists 4 of his brothers to help him with this dirty deed. Mother Gaia brings her children back up to the world of the living. And there on the earth, they wait. They wait for the horizon line to glow red. The spot where love once flourished. It looks like the color of blood now. Uranus, he comes down from his palace, all suited up. He's wearing a dark constellation, like a black suit and tie over his body. And he's there, and he's ready to have a wonderful candlelit dinner with his wife. She's been so cold to him lately. And before they can even light the candles, something rustles in the bushes, and the 4 sons jump out, and they grab his arms, each of them, and his legs, and they pin him to the ground, and Kronos, he jumps out too with his scythe, and he says something real witty to his father. And then he cuts his father up. First, the manhood. No more children, no more usurpers. Then, each of his arms and legs, finally the head. And Uranus is no more. Kronos, with his mighty scythe, still streaming with ichor from the dead of his father. He looks up to his father's sky palace and he bids it come to the ground, atop a mountain. And Kronos, he sits on the throne. You are Kronos. You are time. You can feel the movement of everything passing through space, 1 second at a time. You wield your scythe, symbol of your nobility, and you are the king. And before long, you take on a wife, Mother Rhea. Together you begin having children. 6 of them, to be precise. At least, that's what the loom of the fates would have you believe. After the first is born, though, Kronos, he perceives something. A glimmer in the sky, from the stars, and they whisper to you. You will be usurped. Your throne will be toppled by your own flesh and blood. Kronos thinks to himself, no, not having this again. So when Mother Rhea comes to him, she presents their firstborn child. My lord. And you look at it, and you don't see a baby. You see a whelp. You see a thing that is one day going to topple your throne as the stars promised you. And so you take it! And your wife. Is horrified. Babies are a little hard to chew, you understand, so it takes a while. And she looks at you with horror in her eyes, and you don't understand how she can look at you with horror in your eyes when you have just saved your throne. You've saved your throne, and you are still the king. Away with the child. Before long, Mother Rhea, she comes and she presents the next one. The same thing happens. Down your gullet. It's not so different from the pits of Tartarus. Finally, this happens a few more times. I don't know why Mother Rhea kept giving you the kids when she knew you were going to do this. Bit strange on her part. Maybe she thought she could fix you. But you take a bite of one of them, the last baby, and you bite down, and it's hard. But you manage it anyway. And down your gullet it goes. But little did you know, the real child, that sixth baby, had been swapped out with a rock by Mother Rhea, who finally figured out what we were going to do with the babies. And before long, that baby that was raised way out in the wild comes back. Thunderbolt in his hand, and he strikes you down, and in your last moments, Lord Kronos, you understand. You understand why clocks are in the shape of a circle. You understand that time will always be hungry.